segment. Rajeev Thakkar of Parag Parikh Mutual Fund PPFAs Mutual Fund is with us now. Rajeev, hi, good afternoon. I was just looking at your fund, which has outperformed the benchmark. You have a lot of exposure to private banks. Do you think this is a good buying opportunity? We've seen a bit of a correction in some of the leading stocks.
Good afternoon, Anuj. Yes, we have been positive on private sector banks for a while now. Essentially, this is one of the last remaining sectors where there are still entry hurdles in India, meaning RBI has this licensing and it's not easy to set up a new bank. And we still have a situation where about 2/3 of the market is still with PSU banks. And PSU banks are going through their own turmoil in terms of bad assets and capital constraints. So on a longer term basis, we have been positive on this space and we continue to own the stocks that we have.
Okay, Rajeev, hi, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the show. Very interesting, the kind of picks that you have in your long-term value fund. One of them is, or rather two of them are interesting, Maharashtra Scooters and Balkrishna Industries. Balkrishna Industries has been well documented, but what's the story with Maharashtra Scooters and how does the outlook for this sector look?
Sure. So essentially there are two ways that one can play the Bajaj group, meaning Bajaj Auto, Bajaj Finserv and Bajaj Finance. One can directly own these stocks or one can buy into the holding companies where you get the stock at about 50% discount. Now historically in India, holding companies have been trading at large discounts like 50%. Given that governance in some groups has not been that great. But in the Bajaj group, it's been a well-run group, and given the new Companies Act where a lot of restrictions are placed on capital diversion and things like that, and minority shareholders have to vote on related party transactions, we feel that the holding companies offer a better route to own the underlying companies. Essentially, it's a investment in Bajaj Finserv, Finance and Bajaj Auto
Rajeev,
at a 50% discount.
Okay, that's a very valid point. Rajeev, again, in your portfolio, one name which stands out is Noida Toll Bridge. We saw recently what happened with the High Court order. Are you staying invested, or do you think it's a bit of a body blow for the company now?
No, actually we put out a statement to our unit holders. We have completely exited the stock. This was post the High Court decision.
Okay.
We do not own it as on date.
Sure. The other interesting stock in your portfolio is Mahindra Holidays. That's also a niche sector, but why do you like this stock?
Essentially, it's a play on the business model. Unlike the other hospitality stocks, where the shareholders and lenders have to fund the land purchase, the property construction and so on, and then wait for guests to arrive. In this business model, in the timeshare model, members pay the money upfront and commit to 25 years of holidays, and those funds are used to construct the properties. So it's an asset-light model in that sense, and obviously, given the fact that there are only two players, Mahindra Holidays and Sterling, which is now owned by Thomas Cook, it's a sort of a duopoly play in the country. And again, there's an element of network effect, meaning if someone has 30-40 resorts, it becomes difficult for a new entrant to come in the same space and compete fiercely.
Okay, well, that's Mahindra Holidays. He has seen a big up move lately. The entire rating agency space has done exceptionally well. I mean, CRISIL has been a long-term favorite of many veterans. But within this space, ICRA is something that you like?
Actually, in the past, we have owned both CRISIL and ICRA. CRISIL we had exited some time back, and ICRA is what we continue to hold. Actually, the stock price has run up quite a bit post Moody's acquisition, and to an extent based on historical earnings, it's a bit expensive as on date. But essentially, given the fact that RBI is nudging the large corporates to move towards traded instruments rather than depend only on bank lending, that is a positive in the future. And also, given that it's a Moody's subsidiary now, you could see some business coming their way. So these are the things that we are looking out for.
Final question from my end. Some of the gas stocks have done well for you. You know, IGL, Gujarat Gas. Is this a space that you think will remain in a bull market for a long period?
So we have seen this pressure on municipal corporations and on the governments as to how to really reduce pollution in our cities. And Delhi has this big problem. We have seen the smog kind of situation and some car crashes and so on. So this entire move from diesel towards CNG and also the move towards pipe gas for residential premises, that is a ongoing move. And in their areas of operation, these are monopoly plays. So from that point of view, it looks interesting and positive. One has to also watch out for the regulatory actions and what happens in the future in terms of introducing open access or regulation of tariffs in some form.
Okay, Rajeev, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thanks a lot for joining us.